There are two mistakes people make regarding the Trinity. First, they deny that there are three persons in the Trinity, or they deny that Jesus is God. In John 1:1, two great truths are brought out. John says, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. Please get it. Two great truths. Jesus is God, yet he's also with God. So that means there's a relationship Jesus has with the Father and the Holy Spirit. He's not alone. There's not just one person within the Godhead. There's three persons in the Godhead, and yet Jesus himself is fully God. That is, he's uncreated, he's eternal. He shares the very substance of God. So the two mistakes people make is they either deny that Jesus is with God, or they deny that Jesus is God. Let's first look at the first mistake. This first mistake is made by the oneness group, or often called the Jesus only. They believe rightly the last half of the verse, that Jesus is God, but they deny the first part of the verse, that he's with God. They don't want to believe he's with God because they don't want to believe there's three persons within the Godhead. So they deny that. But the truth is, that is the foundation of Christianity. Jesus himself wanted to make sure every convert understood there's three persons. So he told the disciples in Matthew 28, baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. There Jesus is mentioning all three, and they are all equal. Now, the Jesus only argues, well, the Father's not a name, the Son's not a name, the Holy Spirit's not a name. Of course they're names. People will say, well, but they're titles. Doesn't matter if a title are names. For example, a title will tell you more about a person than their given name given by their parents. For example, I'm Tom Brown. What does that tell you about me? Very little. But I'm Bishop Tom Brown. Bishop is a title, but that name says more about who I am than even the given name that was given to me by my parents. And so the Jesus only wants to make a big deal over the term Father, Son, and Spirit, and they say they're not names, they're titles, but they are names. And the point is, Jesus included all three in the baptismal formula. When Jesus was baptized in water, the Father in heaven spoke. The Holy Spirit descended in the form of a dove, and Jesus was baptized. There you see all three coexisting together. And who spoke from heaven? The Father did, not Jesus. But the Jesus only denies that there is a Father in heaven. They believe Jesus is the Father and he's the Holy Spirit. If that's the case, you have Jesus acting like a ventriloquist, pretending to say, this is my son. No, friend, a real father, his Father spoke from heaven, and the Holy Spirit descended upon him in the form of a dove. So John 1:1 says, Jesus was with God. So please understand there's a relationship that Jesus has with God the Father and the Son. But the second truth is that he is God. That's when some people have a problem. They'll say, well, how can Jesus pray to God if he's God? See, they can't understand that he can be both having a relationship with God and be God himself. So in Jesus' incarnation, he did pray to the Father, and he did depend on the Spirit, but that doesn't mean he's not God. You're saying because he has a relationship with the Father, that means he cannot be God. Well, how then do you understand John 1:1? That in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word, what does it say? Was God. So therefore, he is God himself. He's divine. And so that is, he's uncreated, he's eternal, he's the eternal begotten Son of God. So the two mistakes I've noticed that people make is they either deny the three persons within the Godhead, or by acknowledging the three persons, they don't believe Jesus himself is God because he prayed to God, because the Father was greater than he in authority. And so what happens is people have trouble embracing both the truths that he is God and yet he is with God. Please don't make those two mistakes.